Today I'm going to be teaching you how to throw the Scoober. What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure you click the subscribe button down there. Turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a video. And if you're enjoying the content, click the like button. If you guys saw this video, upside down. Let's go! Let's go!
How's that feel?
Come on! You might be one of the people at home trying to incorporate the Scoober into your game. I've seen a lot of videos come in through social media, some good, some not so good, and a lot of you guys have requested that I do a Scoober tutorial. Lucky for me, this is one of the throws that I think is almost identical to how to throw it in Ultimate Frisbee. So I don't really have to change too much throwing a smaller disc in disc golf. I can do the same things that I was doing in Ultimate Frisbee over here in disc golf. So I'm gonna break this video down into 4 parts. We're gonna go first over the grip. We're gonna secondly go over the actual form and motion of your body. Third, we're gonna go over the different flight paths, what you can do with throwing a Scoober this way. And then fourth, we're gonna go over when I think you should throw a Scoober. Now, obviously there's gonna be other people out that have been playing disc golf a lot longer than I have, but I'm gonna kind of give you guys my background on when it works for me, when I think the percentages make sense to go for the Scoober. So we're gonna jump into the grip right away. It's pretty much identical to my forehand grip. My forehand grip, I have my middle finger on the inside rim here. I think they call these flight plates. So it's kind of in the flight plate here, and then the index finger kind of just goes down, and then I actually pinch in a little bit. Now this is something that's different than I think a lot of people that throw forehands do. I don't think that many people pinch in, and I don't think you need to do it that drastically, but the Scoober is so much more a wrist snap than an arm motion. And so to get a lot of control and to get a lot of power and speed with just a wrist snap, it's gonna require you to actually pinch down on the disc. Now I do like having it go into the meat of my hand all the way here. I've seen some people where there's actually like a gap like that. I prefer it to be all the way in the meat right there, and then the thumb just kind of sits on top. If you want to kind of figure out where your thumb should go, your thumb should be kind of on the other side of where your fingers are. So that way when you're pushing down with these fingers and pushing down with this thumb, they're kind of doing they're pushing on the same side of the disc, if that makes sense, or same part of the disc. So that is essentially the grip. You don't want to have the grip be super loose, like I said. You want to have this to be kind of tight so you can really control and get a lot of snap. That's key. If you're not holding it really tightly and you're trying to snap, you can see it's super flimsy. It's easier to control the angle for me is if I actually am gripping it down tight. So moving on now into the second part, which we're going to talk about the actual form of the Scoober. It is so much more an upper body and wrist movement. Very little lower body involved. Very little arm. I've seen some people try at home where they're doing this huge motion like this, and it's not that. It's a very small, condensed, and precise motion. The other thing I want to talk about too is I've seen some people throwing it here. I'm going to turn around so you can see. Anything over the right ear, I consider that a hammer, which is in disc golf is also called a tomahawk. Anything over the left shoulder here, that is the actual Scoober. When you're doing it, the easiest way to think about, stand like you're gonna throw a backhand with the Scoober grip, and then just literally flip the disc over, and now that's where you wanna be. It's pretty simple to get it set up. Now, if I was trying to make it into this basket here, the first thing I'm gonna do is get positioned with, just like almost kind of like a putt. Get position with my right foot kind of pointing more at the target. My left foot's gonna be more closed off here. And I'm just kind of on my toes. And now I can kind of just rest the disc up here. And really the motion for a distance this far, I'm maybe 22, 23 feet. If I was trying to throw it in, all I'm gonna really do from here is just bring it back a little bit with the elbow, bend the elbow just a little bit, and then from here it's just flick forward. flick forward. It's not so much this crazy motion, it's just more of a quick little doot, doot, doot. Get the proper grip, get the right form, get it figured out. Just start about 20, 25 feet, nothing too crazy. Get everything lined up. And then all you're gonna do, again, is just a little flick of the wrist, okay? Finish your arm completely full. And one thing too, I almost forgot, you don't start super high, you don't start super low, just kind of comfortable right around shoulder level. And then once you kind of got that, you can see when it comes off my hand, it comes off super clean. It's again, way more wrist than arm. A lot of disc golf throws are way arm dependent. This one is so much more just the snapping motion with the forehand. So get that down, and then we can move on to the actual flight pass and all the different things you can do with the Scoober. I think it's imperative and important to learn all different ways the disc can fly with different throws. Don't just stick to one. Figure out what happens when you move the disc from a 45 to flat, when you move it actually upside down, or when you get super drastic and almost throw it at like a vertical angle. So that's what we're gonna do now and kind of show how the disc is gonna respond and fly differently. Now I do have about 20 mile, 15 mile per hour tailwind here, so it's not gonna make the disc go as drastic as if there was no wind or if you're throwing into a headwind, but you'll get the idea. First one I'm gonna do is just a 45-degree angle. You can see on that one, it's never gonna go anything more than flat. It's just gonna kind of go and then finish flat and then fall out of the sky. That's why it's kind of my bread and butter. You just throw it a little bit off to the left of your target and it'll curve in nicely and then just drop out of the sky. Now we're gonna do something where we're gonna throw it flat. Now on this, it should go kind of flat and then it should just finish here and then it should finish just a little to the left. So instead of finishing now to the right, this one should kind of go out and finish a little to the left. And like I said, it was trying to work that way. The wind's at my back, so it didn't go as much as it would normally, but that one's gonna be much straighter and a little bit finished to the left than the first one. Now we can go super drastic, and we're gonna go finish with the disc coming out of the hand. I don't know how you would say this. Negative vertical? I don't know. I don't know what the proper term is. But now we're gonna do this, and now you can see what this does. So you saw that one had a lot more right to left turn as well. And again, it's kind of like falling right out of the sky and just dropping. That's almost similar to like maybe a hyzer, a spike hyzer backhand. Same kind of flight, starting out to the right and then just dropping out of the sky. It'd be interesting to see when you would actually use that. And then the last one, this is for, you know, distance scoobers. If you're trying to throw something really, really high and have it come straight out of the sky, I'm gonna throw it basically vertical. And the other thing that you can see too is, see how I'm changing the positioning of the disc, obviously when it releases, but also changing my body. So if I wanna throw something 45 or flat, I'm gonna stay pretty much the same, 45 flat. But now if I wanna drop it here, I'm gonna drop the disc more and kind of throw it more like a backhand where I'm coming down here still with the wrist snap. And then the last thing is when I wanna go, where I'm gonna do now is like a super vertical one, I'm actually gonna stand tall and roll over here and finish also higher. I need this disc to have more air time to do what I want it to do, so I can't just throw it 45. I gotta get it up. So I'm gonna throw up, more arm too, obviously, and snapping a lot at the end here. Let's see if we can get a good one. And I'm doing all these at standstill. I don't recommend doing these with any sort of run up. I think this is a standstill controlled throw. Oh, look at that, baby.
Wow, that went out of frame.
Oh, okay, went out of frame. It was perfect. We're gonna have Kelsey back up here because that was absolutely perfect. Oh yeah. All right, I can't do much better than that. So those are all the different flights. I showed you guys the grip. I've shown you the form. I showed you the different flights of the Scoober. Now we're gonna actually put it into play and I'm gonna show you when I'd actually use it in a tournament situation. One of the ways I would use a Scoober in a tournament situation is what we have here. If my disc has found itself on this side of this limb, we're gonna act like there's no chance for you to go underneath, because obviously if I wanted to, I could go down on a knee and I could throw this little gap shot under with a normal backhand putt. So we're gonna act like when you're in a situation where you can't go underneath, there's something in front of you. What a lot of people do right now is they do the turbo putt, which is the thumbs in the middle of the disc, their 4 fingers on the outside, and they kind of stand like this, and they basically just toss it like that. Now, for me, that is a putt that I've never practiced, so I don't feel confident at all making that putt. I feel like I'm gonna maybe make that 1 out of 10 times, 2 out of 10 times at best. I want something that's gonna give me a better chance at making this putt. And this is where the Scoober comes in. I can throw it just like my normal Scoober that I practice in the garage. It's very similar to the putt that we had earlier where it was like 20-25 feet. I'm just gonna throw this like my normal Scoob, 45-degree angle, a little wrist snap in the basket. Use this time as we're walking to the next shot to let me know in the comments down below if anything doesn't make sense, if you have questions about anything, or if you want to see some more tutorials, comment down below and let me know. We are in scenario number 2, and this is probably the one that I use most. And if you watch my Waco tournament, you'll see me busting the Scoober out 3 or 4 times for this reason. And that's when I want to give myself a chance to make it, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself in a position to 3-putt. On that last scenario, I'm just thinking about making it. I'm not worried about 3-putting at all because it's so close. If I miss, I'm going to be right near the basket, whether I turbo putt or Scoober, but the Scoober is going to give me a higher percentage. Here, I'm thinking long game and I'm thinking strokes. You got to think about, in a tournament situation, there's 3, sometimes 4 rounds of golf. Maybe from this distance, my percentage of making it with a backhand or jump putt might be slightly higher than me making it with the Scoober. So let's say I have 10 of these putts throughout the entire tournament. Yeah, maybe I make 1 of them with the backhand. But how many times going for it do I actually miss and put myself in a position of making bogey? Now, if I go and I Scoober it, my percentage of making it is smaller, but I still might make 1 out of 10. But I don't think I'm ever gonna 3-putt. And the reason for that is if I miss, the disc is always gonna stay roughly right around the basket. I'm gonna show you right now. The reason why we're here is this basket, hole number 10 here out dashes, it's on a hill. We're gonna walk up there in a second so you can see. Right behind, there's a valley. So if you miss, it's just gonna go. And then you have a really hard up putt after that, uphill putt rather after that. So I'm gonna throw 2 putts. I'm gonna try to make both and we're gonna see where they end up. We're gonna go with the backhand kind of jump putt first. Oh, okay. So that is best case scenario. Other than making it is I actually hit, it just drops right down. We're gonna do another one and just see what happens if I don't hit anything. That's a better situation of what could happen. Now we're gonna go Scoober, same thing, me trying to make it. That was close. Might have done it. Oh, just short. Let's go up and see where they are. So you can see this, I'm actually glad I hit the basket. So this is the one that hit the basket. It left me with the tap in, great. Now, both these Scoobers didn't hit anything. This one ended up just over here. This one ended up right here. Both inside, I mean, this is no more than, that's 8 feet, and this one's might be 5 feet, okay? Now, the one where I actually was running it with the backhand putt, look where we ended up. And this is what I'm talking about, these death putt situation. Now, granted, if there wasn't a huge valley here, the disc probably lands here. And I probably have 15, 20 feet left. No big deal. But because there's that death putt, there's, it allows the disc to fly further and further. It made it all the way back here. And granted, could I make this? For sure I could make this. But the thing is again, we're talking long term here. We're talking percentages over tournaments, right? Do I want to give myself that putt 3-4 times around when I could just be having tap-ins? That's what we got to think about. We're going to go one last scenario of why I use the Scoober putt. All right, the final scenario, guys, is going to be one where you're trying to putt left to right. I don't know if you're comfortable throwing the forehand. I don't know if you're comfortable throwing a super Anheuser putt. I think for me personally, if I'm distant and I have some room, throwing something left to right, a Scoober is that perfect flight for me. This is a good situation right here. We're about 60 feet or so. It's a decent distance away. We've got trees on our right-hand side. So my normal putt, which would be right of the basket, having it fade in to the left, completely blocked off. The last thing I want to do over the 60-footer is hit a tree 10 feet in front of me. Instead of trying to throw a delicate forehand hyzer or trying to throw a really delicate Anheuser putt, a Scoober is just kind of a perfect fit for me. And it's something that I think, you know, having in your tool bag as another option gives you a lot of chances at birdies where you might never have thought that you had a chance at getting a birdie. Not sure if that made sense, but we're going to show you what it looks like now. I'm going to throw this thing high, give it enough time to go left to right, and remember, when this thing lands, it's landing flat. No chance of a rollaway. The worst thing it could do is maybe slide a couple feet. If I try to run this on an Anheuser and I turn it over too much and it hits on this angle or something like this, it has a chance of skipping and rolling away. Same thing if I don't throw it with enough Anheuser and it flips over this way, again, it could hit and roll away. This gives me no chance at that roll away, but still gives me a decent shot at making this circle 2. This might be just outside. This is in circle 2. We'll call it a circle 2 putt. Let's make the putt now. There it is. All right, just like that, guys. That is the Scoober. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's a fun throw, and like I said before, you never know what situations you're going to put yourself in disc golf. You want to be able to have as many weapons as possible. I think this is a throw that you could pick up maybe a shot or two throughout a tournament, and that could be huge. So definitely give it a try. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and I think that's it. Until the next video, keep slinging them discs.